Hey, Dexter. Hey, Dexter. My boy, how you doing? You good? Talk to me. Yeah, no, I'm all right. I'm gonna go take a walk though. I'll see you in a minute. I always liked seeing this goat because of how he looked like a skull. A skull, I used to call him Skeletor because of how he looked. When I come up the road and I clean him off, I pick the thorns off of him, you know, try and take care of him. One thing that I noticed out here in the Caribbean is the way people care for their animals is a lot different than the way we care for our animals. And not everybody, but, most people in general, especially when it comes to goat care. A lot of the goat farmers, they're out here farming, for meat. They're farming their goats for meat, also for the milk. But primarily from what I've seen is, there's a big market for goat meat. Troublesome. Come troublesome. Where's Johnny Bravo? He in the bush? You do have some really amazing farmers, some really knowledgeable farmers, goat herders. Look, another one. Some people that, really take care of their animals and treat them like, pets and not just, a profit. But, at large, I'd say the majority of the folks out here is eating the goat meat. But for the Hood Squad, we really wanted to see, how people are farming with less resources, because that's really a great way of finding out, the best ways to kind of, be off the grid, with your farming and, really just kind of live with what you have and what you can make for your animals and how to survive with your animals. Out here, I noticed most of the animals pasture, whether it's, goats or horses. There's not a lot of farmers, except for the big kind of commercial farmers that are giving their animals a lot of grain. The primary diet is out in the pasture. That's what, most folks can afford. That's what's plentiful. On the island, there's just, open fields of green everywhere. So they tie off their animals, whether it's a goat or a horse, and feed them, and then, just bring them water. I spent a lot of time with North Point Riding Stables. I wanted to see, how they care for their horses out here in the Caribbean. They have a real natural approach to maintaining their animals. These horses, they are out to pasture most of the day, except when they're working. They get a lot of water because it's so hot, and a lot of riding in. We do a lot of riding on these horses out here. A lot of trail riding, a lot of beach riding. That's what it is. Folks is on these horses every day. They ride them hard, they ride them well, and the horses are well maintained and well looked after. I think what made me think the hardest is how the horses are always outside and, use natural cover, the trees for cover and things like that. I watched and took part in the horses breeding. I watched how, they get the job done. The money from selling the colts is, an additional form of income. And of course, some of that money has to go into, hooving and, maintenance for the animals. Like all good farms, you want the animals to pay for themselves. It was important to step outside of, the U.S. and look at other ways of farming, other ways that, how other countries are doing it, countries with less resources, how they're maintaining with their animals, how they use nature and are closer to more indigenous practices with, care. A lot of horsemen out here are barefoot, shorts. That's how they ride, bareback most of the time. Sometimes no bridles, just holding on to the mane. So that was all stuff that, was new to me. And I never got into riding without my shoes on. But I did do bareback. I did do, no bridle, and got pretty good at it. The way I grew up, Western saddle, boots, my grandfather was a Buffalo Soldier. There's certain things I'm always going to do. In certain ways I'm always going to ride. But it was definitely a good experience trying out other ways and, learning common practices from the island. My time with North Point was, well spent. I learned a lot from them. I feel like they learned a lot from me. And, we swapped information as all good farmers do, whether it be about, horses or goats or whatever, man. Game on top of game. If you like our content, please hit that subscribe button and hit that like button.